Yes, guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Bright. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. And guys, Rico Verhoeven has been ranked in the top 10 heavyweight ranking of the WBC, and fans are split. Some fans are happy with this rankings and some are not. So let me flip my screen and then we can have a look at this. As you can see, Alexander Usyk is, the champion as always. Agit Kabayel is number 2. But then when we go down here, we can see Tyson Fury is number 1 on there. Lawrence Okoli, Moses Talma, you got Filip Hrgovic and Anthony Joshua, Frank Sanchez, you've got Deontay Wilder, and then you have Rico Verhoeven, number 8. And this is where some fans just don't understand it, that Rico is number 8 on the ranking. Because if you think about it, Rico Verhoeven had a boxing fight back in 2014. And then he fought Alexander Usyk. Now, granted, that was a really, really good performance, and a performance that nobody can take nothing away from. And as you can see there, this is a picture that is going to be in boxing for a very, very long time. And people argued that it was an early stoppage. The referee stopped that fight late. Alexander Usyk got his hands raised, and there's a lot of controversy about this. And Rico Verhoeven has been out there doing interviews, talking about the fact that he was cheated, talking about the fact that he was going to win that fight. And you have his trainer, Peter Fury, also going about doing interviews, talking about the fact that Rico was winning the fight and it was unfair that the fight was stopped. So, you got to give Rico his credit. He deserves, the plaudits that he's getting. The performance was really good. But for him to be in the top 10 of the WBC heavyweight world ranking is something that many fans do not understand. Now, I'm happy for you guys to tell me in the comment section what you think about it. Are you happy with this ranking? Or do you think it's far-fetched and Rico should not be in the top 10? Get in the comment section and let me know. But when we look at it, right, there are certain fighters in this list that I think if Rico was ahead of them, there would be mayhem. Like, if Rico was ahead of the likes of Anthony Joshua or even Tyson Fury in this ranking, then people are going to go absolutely bonkers. But what we can see is that Rico is ahead of Efe Ajagba. He's ahead of Richard Riakporhe, Martin Bakole. Now, I understand the Martin Bakole thing because Martin Bakole has not been active. He's gone missing. He's not been fighting. We don't know what he's doing out there. So you could sort of understand why Rico may be ranked ahead of him. But when you think about it as well, Martin Bakole, has had more boxing fights than Rico Verhoeven. So why is Rico Verhoeven ahead of Martin Bakole? One thing that I don't understand is Efe Ajagba. Why is Rico Verhoeven ahead of Efe Ajagba? Like, Efe Ajagba recently fought. He beat Charles Martin in a really good performance where people thought that the next step for Efe Ajagba is to fight someone like a Filip Hrgovic or a Moses Talma. So if you look at it, Efe Ajagba has been active and he's had a recent win. So why is Rico Verhoeven ahead of him? Now, when we go under here, we see the likes of Otto Wallin, Guido Vianelli. We see the likes of Richard Torres, Michael Hunter, and so forth. So, when you look at it, a lot of the fighters down here are not very active in boxing. They've not fought recently. I mean, you talk about Richard Torres, he fought recently and he lost in a devastating fashion against Frank Sanchez. So maybe because of that loss, he's come down a few steps on the rankings. But what I don't understand is Efe Ajagba being below Rico Verhoeven. But look, the truth is that the BBC knows exactly what they're doing. The WBC, they're all about money. They want to make sure that they can maximize on sanctioning fees, because Rico Verhoeven, because of his performance against Alexander Usyk, is going to get another big fight. If it's not Usyk, which I don't think that fight is going to happen next, and probably may not happen because Usyk has got other mandatories and other responsibilities that he needs to adhere to as a champion, I think Rico has had enough good performance against Usyk to warrant him having a big fight. So I think Rico Verhoeven is going to have another big fight. And what the WBC are doing is they want to make sure that when Rico is ready to fight, that they can make some money out of him. And that's why they've ranked him number 8 on there. So the WBC have ordered Usyk to face Agit Kabayel. And basically, if Usyk does not respond in the next 30 days, then Kabayel will become the heavyweight champion. So could it be that we could see Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven, without the WBC belt? I don't think so. I think the WBC knows that they need to make that sanctioning fees, and therefore they're going to do everything in their power to keep Rico Verhoeven in the top 20 just in case he gets the opportunity. But this fight is going to happen, Usyk versus Agit Kabayel. And I think if Usyk retains his belt against Kabayel, then they're absolutely going to make the rematch against Usyk versus Rico Verhoeven, because that is the fight that they want to make. Turki Al Sheikh wants to make that fight I'm sure that the BBC wants to see that fight because there's going to be a lot of money for them to make in that fight. So everybody has some vested interest in putting Rico Verhoeven in the top 10 of the WBC rankings. And that's why we see him in there. But the truth is, Rico Verhoeven should not be in the top 10 ranking. He shouldn't. Let's be honest and do boxing a service, right? Let's not do boxing a disservice and let's not be dishonest. Rico Verhoeven should not be in the top 10 of the WBC rankings. He shouldn't, because there are fighters down there, as I've talked about, that deserve their spot up there, because Rico has only had 2 fights. And yes, he fought Alexander Usyk and he put up a really good performance and people thought that he won or he was winning before the fight was stopped. The truth is, on paper, he lost. Like, Rico did not win that fight. So nothing should guarantee that after 2 fights in boxing, and although one against the current best fighter in boxing, in my opinion, should warrant him being in the top 10. Maybe in the top 20, maybe in the top 15, then I don't think that Rico deserves to be in there. But I understand it. Boxing is a business. And people come into the comment section and tell me, Bright, boxing is a business, when I start complaining about the fact that boxing is not being run properly and that sanctioning bodies are doing things that are not right. People tell me, look, boxing is a business. You have to understand it. These guys are trying to make money. And that's exactly what I see with the WBC trying to do this. Because how they've positioned Rico Verhoeven in the top 10 is to make sure that he can have a big fight. If not Usyk, then somebody else. And then they're going to make some money out of it. But of course, ideally, Turki Al-Sheikh, Mauricio Suleiman, anybody that's involved and it's around the WBC and Ring Magazine, they all want to see Usyk fight Rico Verhoeven next so they can make a lot of money out of that fight. And of course, you know, besides the money, I think Rico Verhoeven deserves his opportunity to fight Usyk for the second time. But in my opinion, not before he fights Agit Kabayel or fights a boxer that deserves his chance at the world title. I don't think it's fair for boxing or to any boxer to sit there and watch Rico Verhoeven fight Usyk for the second time when they've not had their shot. I think it's a disgrace. I think it's, you know, unethical for the sport. So look, Rico deserves his shot, but he needs to wait until Usyk defends his title against someone like Agit Kabayel or fight someone else that deserves that opportunity before Rico gets his shot. But look guys, get in the comment section and let me know what you think about Rico Verhoeven being ranked in the top 10 of the WBC rankings. Does he deserve it? Does he not deserve it? Are you surprised? Are you not surprised? What is your genuine opinion about Rico's ranking by the WBC? Get in the comment section and let me know.